Hey, what's up, my friends? It's Mr. Jonathan Budd, and I want to share a really quick and funny story with you about how I came to understand the distinctions of audience and influence. Okay, now believe it or not, I started in this entire industry 6 years ago. Okay, when I started 6 years ago, I was a wet behind the ears, complete newbie in just about every single thing concerning success you could imagine. I didn't even have a concept that you could even make more than $20,000 a month. I'd never known anybody that made that much money. I had no idea that that much money could ever even be possible for me. And one day, out of the blue, I get this call from my uncle, and he says, "You got to see this opportunity." It was a network marketing opportunity. It was the first one I was ever pitched on. And he said, "You got to join. They got this amazing technology, this amazing product. You got to get in. There's these kids. They're 26 years old. They're making $30,000 a month." And it was like almost the first time I ever even had a concept that you could make $30,000 a month. And once I heard about it, it was like a little mind virus. It was like, wait a minute, that's possible? And it kind of, I was looking at all the other ways I was going to create an income and create a future for myself. And it was like going back to graduate school or doing this or doing that. And it just seemed like I was going to sign myself up for another $200,000 in debt and spend the next 40 years of my life paying it off before I was ever actually free. And I have this I have the freedom bug. Okay, I think it's a really important bug to catch. You want to catch the freedom bug where like every part of you just thirsts and hungers and desires to be free in every way. And that just seemed crazy to me. I did not want to be stuck to $200,000 in debt and all sorts of other mortgages and this and that I had no ability to really control for the next 50 years of my life. That was just blah. So when I heard about this, it was like this light bulb went off and I said, you know what? I'm going to reach my goals in life somehow through this. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to do it. Maybe you feel like that right now. I hope so, because that's how I felt. But when I started, I had no clue what success was. I had no clue about anything, even relating to business. So what did I do? I followed exactly what I was told to do, but I was unfortunately learning from people who also had no clue what success was. Nobody had ever really been successful at almost anything, It was just, okay, I'm going to get the hook, line, and sinker, from somebody else who got it from somebody else who got it from somebody else, and that's what I'm going to tell you. There's such a different way that success actually works, right? True mentorship doesn't exist like that. Mentorship is really one of the key secrets to success. You've got to partner up with people who have learned from real-world experience how to create the things you want to create, because there's a direct transmission that takes place. And without this transmission, success is almost darn near impossible to create, okay? But somebody who's created it through real-world experience, not knowledge or theory that they heard from somebody else and then they're just regurgitating it, but they went out there and they have sweated. They have experienced the pain, the struggle, the hardship of what it takes to claw your way through the challenges that will inevitably face you on your road to success. That's mentorship. Those are the people you want to be studying and learning with. And unfortunately, the beginning of my journey was so roped with challenges and problems and obstacles that I almost wanted to die on multiple occasions. And truly, when a lot of people ask me, what was one of the biggest secrets to earning $15 million, in your first 5 or 6 years in this industry, it's this: I failed so much faster than most people. I really think that's it. Like, I failed at everything so fast. I was trying so many things so fast. As soon as I, failed at one tactic, I went on to cold calling. And as soon as I failed at cold calling, I went on to fax blasting. And when I failed at fax blasting, I went on to door-to-door sales and walking into businesses. And when I failed at that, I started buying booths and malls and expositions. And when I failed at that, I started buying leads. And when I failed at that, I went over here. And when I failed at that, I went over here. And when I failed at that, I went over here. So I failed so fast at so many things that it led me to what actually I've discovered is the crux of success, the physical mechanics of it. Now, the physical mechanics of success, what was obvious to me back then in network marketing was that I didn't have enough leads. I had burned out my warm market and ran out of people to talk to so darn fast that it was obvious, what do I do now? I didn't have anybody else. Now I'm much more clear on what that distinction is. What I really didn't have was audience. Because leads are one thing. You can make some money from leads, but you create wealth with an audience. You create a long-term business with an audience. When you create an audience, your whole paradigm shifts. You now have a completely sustainable pool of wealth that you can literally swim in and drink from almost any time you want. That's audience, okay? Massive distinction from traffic, massive distinction from leads. Audience is the long-term name of the game, and a lot of the strategies that we'll be teaching and the software and the tools that we're going to be giving you inside of Futuristic Marketing is what will lead to you creating audience, more so than just generating leads and just creating traffic. The end-all goal of that is going to be you creating your own audience, okay? I quickly ran into the second problem, though. Once I started failing my way to the top, right, and I was figuring out, okay, now I know how to actually get some leads, right, but I'm still not really making much money, right? And when I first started, I figured out a few tactics to get traffic and tactics to get leads, but I was terrible on the phone. I was terrible at, what was I terrible at? Influence. I had never really had influence in my life. I had never trained in influence. I had no influential people that I really knew, no successful business owners or anything like that. So the only way I was able to learn influence was literally crawling my way up tooth and nail, just, literally like grinding it out on the phone, writing emails. I would be calling leads in Malaysia because the only leads I used to get would come from some newspaper in Malaysia where Google was displaying one of my content ads. It's like the funniest thing, but like every day I would have like 5 leads from Malaysia, and those were my leads for the day, and I'd be like, what the heck's up with this? Finally, I was looking through my reports and I found that my ads were being shown on a newspaper in Malaysia, and so I'm on Skype literally at 22 years old on the phone every single day at like 11 p.m. at night, because that's when my Malaysia leads were most responsive, calling leads in Malaysia. And believe it or not, I actually closed a few of those guys, you know what I mean? I got them to buy the freaking vitamins. I got them to buy some of the other stuff. I mean, it's fun. It's cool. And those experiences of grinding it out and having to teach myself influence at that level truly set the stage. It set the stepping stones for moving into bigger and better things. Now, once I climbed up those stepping stones, obviously, you start to really refine your skills and you refine your tactics. And so I realized it's not really the most efficient use of my time after a while to focus on calling leads in Malaysia. Why don't I focus on building an audience and creating influence in some more, scalable ways is really what it is, right? So I started to focus on email and video. How do I just write an email to 1,000 people that creates influence? How do I make a video that I can send out to 1,000 people that influences them? And now you're really scaling your ability to influence, which coincidentally leads to scaling your audience, okay? So once you scale influence, audience usually scales right next to it. And as you're scaling audience, really by demand, by necessity, your influence scales with it, because now you have more responsibility once you have an audience. So I thought it would be funny to share some of the early stories of how I really came to learn these distinctions and what my life was like just 5 or 6 years ago before I actually knew this stuff. Now, on the other side of learning what I've learned over the last 6 years, which I'm going to share with you, which is what the crux of futuristic marketing is all about, and believe me, we are at a level of the game now that is so far beyond where we have ever been. Our sophistication in how to train you, how to teach you, how to really get you to duplicate what we've uncovered in our methodologies is more sophisticated than it's ever been. I am seriously excited for you to experience futuristic marketing, because I know there's no other program, no other product that exists in the world like it, because no one's really like us. We're the ones leading it. And that's why I know it's so unique, and that's why I'm so excited for you to be inside. But once I uncovered really how to master audience and influence, it was like my results in life just kind of went on this like exponential growth curve that is still really weird to me. I hear other people talk about it sometimes and they're like, dude, what the heck? Like, how did so much domination occur so fast? And I still don't even really, it's still weird to me, you know what I mean? Like, I still don't even really know how it happened, and I don't really know how it went so fast, but I know that the distinctions inside of futuristic marketing are what made it possible. I know know that it was my steadfast commitment to implementing the new knowledge that I learned as I learned it that kept on making more and more and more radical results in life possible. And I know that when you commit to the exact same knowledge, when you commit to the exact same path, when you infuse yourself with the exact same energy, that whole new levels of results are possible for you too, and I know that that's what you're going to get inside Futuristic Marketing, my friend. And I just want to encourage you in every single way possible, while you have this tiny, small window of opportunity to make such a drastic change in your life, to make such a quantum leap in your current paradigm, in your skill sets, in your attitude, in your technology, in your information, in your knowledge, when you have such an opportunity to make such a quantum leap in all of those areas, take it. Take it. How short is life? Seriously, how short is life? The time for us to create what we truly envision for ourselves to create is now. And we've got to align ourselves with the right people, the right mentors, the right community, and the right friends, and the right knowledge if we're going to make it happen. And all of that is staring you in the face right now, and it's time for us to do it together, my friend. It's time for us to do it together. So, click the link below and take massive action moving towards your dreams and moving towards your goals in life. And I cannot wait to be side by side with you as we create it together. I'll see you soon.